Well, hello, my friends. Welcome back to Breaking Bricks. I'm your host, Neil. This is week 9 of my Clone Wars build mock. We are doing the Battle of Yavana. We've got a lot of work to do. We've been working on it for 8 long weeks already. This is week 9. We got quite a few more weeks to do. I'm hoping to get the tower bases started today. I got to figure out exactly how I want to build it. We're going to try to build them modularly. Is what I'm thinking right now, unless something tragic happens and I got to change my mind. But we'll see. But anyway, let's talk about something else. I've been kind of wanting to put back together some of my iconic location sets, like Jabba's Palace, Betrayal at Cloud City, Scarif. I have quite a few different types of builds that I have ripped apart to build these larger modules. But over time, I've acquired more bricks. So I'm hoping to maybe start to put these back together and put them back into my collection. Because those are the kind of things that inspire me to build big. I want to build those kind of sets that, you can place fun things in. That's why I like building largely, because then you can put, more than one ATTE in it. But, you also have to keep in mind, you're always stuck to your limitations. I am stuck to pretty much what I have to work with. I only allow myself so many extra dollars per build to allow me to do this. So the requirements for each one, vary. But it's pretty much, I'm stuck using what I have to use. And a lot of you are probably in that same boat as I am. Although I've been doing it for a long time, I've acquired quite a bit more over time. So as you acquire a bit more over time, you can start doing more bigger kind of projects. But right now, you're going to want to concentrate on what you have to work with. If it's small, make it fabulous. Do what you can. Just keep on building. But anyway, let's get into this build. All right, my friends, this week we've got a lot to do. As you can see, I kind of a little bit of tweaked on it a little bit just to kind of see what some detail would look like along the edge here. How the walkway is going to overlap with it. Give myself an idea how the tower is going to sit. So we are going to focus over here and we're going to go ahead and get that all done. Once again, we need all this to measure up. It's got to be the same kind of height. So we're going to build both sides simultaneously. And these are going to be modular, simply because, we need to move it from one place to another. So they won't be permanently impressed into this place, but they need to be strong and they need to be able to be moved. So I'm debating on whether I want to make this a brick thick or almost a brick thick. Time will tell as we get into it. So let's just get to work and get started. I kind of hit a point where I just had to stop for a minute, simply because as I got this thing together and we're going to build the tower on top of this, that's what my plan is. I've got my hole here for my power wire to go through for my next set of connections. But overall, when I slip this into this groove, it's really tight. Now it's supposed to be tight, but here's the problem. I got to thicken this up here to get everything to kind of even out and work well. So to do it right and add detail and everything else, of course, we're adding layers. It's just how it is. But I'm thinking maybe I was kind of wrong with maybe doing it this way, simply because when you're building largely like this. You know, you'll want to take it places so people can check it out and you can really get it checked, see if it brings them joy, if they like it and everything else. Plus, you know, it makes you feel good about the piece of art that you created. So trying to take this from this room and take it someplace else, I always have to keep in the back of your mind, and I have to keep it in the back of my mind, how I'm going to move this, how big each section is going to be, and how strong will it be. So as part of that process, you know, as I'm building here, you know, I've got my 6 bottom sections, you know, the 2 big sections and 4 smaller sections, you know, 3 sections per trunk, 2 cars. I can put each bridge section onto a back seat and then fill it with boxes and everything else for the rest of the pieces. Now, I started thinking I was going to module this, you know, you can set that on the floor and the rest of it can go in a box, the rest of the towers and then the swings and everything else. But I'm thinking maybe I should build the base of the tower actually on top of the bridge itself, just to make sure it stays stronger. But mainly because, you know, when I go to put this in place, it's a bit of a struggle. It's really tight. And I don't want to struggle with it later, taking it apart or putting it back together. So I'm going to redo this section here, similar to what I'm doing here. So basically we're just going to get rid of this. We're going to pull all these tabbies up, pull these gray lines back off. For the most part, I'm going to leave the 2 ends because it signifies how big this section is going to be. And we're going to build a section down here and a section down here, and then we're going to build it up, and then the top will come off for only so high, just big enough for that ATST to fit underneath it. And we will take it from there. And of course, the other side has to match that. So building up on one side here is definitely giving me some knowledge on how to go about doing this. And like I said, it doesn't matter whether it's a win or a fail, because a fail is a good teacher because it teaches you not how to do it. And like I said, we have so many different aspects of what we have to keep in mind before we go any further with this idea, rather than deciding it's too late later. It's better to decide now. So we're just going to change that up. I'm going to pop these tabs out real quick, and I'm going to turn the cameras back on, and we're going to go back at it. Well, my friends, we've taken it as far as we're going to take it this week. We've accomplished so much. You know, the bridge is starting to look really good, you know, especially the span parts. We've got the details coming in here. You know, this is where the actual two pieces separate. I'm going to put a couple clip pins in there to hold them in there. But before I do that, you know, I want to lift this piece section back out because I want to redo this walkway underneath here a little better. I just don't like how it's sitting there. Plus, it's got to be able to lift out and pretty easy. So there's got to be a gap between the two walkways on the bottom. You know, also adding the layers on top here to be able to do some blast damage on top, as well as start the tiling on top here, you know, because you kind of want to get your flooring done before you start working upwards. But we do have our bases for our tower, and how I've got a great idea on how they're going to go together. You know, they're going to come apart to a point where they'll break down to almost stubs just like this here. They're going to have plating on the side for detailing. All but this one will come off. The same on this side, just simply because I have a wire running through it. If I decide to make it thick, I know it's strong. If I make it thin so the wire can slide in and out, then it's a chance that it's just going to break apart during transport. You just don't know. But let's go ahead and take an up-close look at what we got done. All right, so we're going to start here with this base. As you can see, we've just tiling it up, thickening it in. Everything is locked down. You know, I started adding a side rail here just to kind of give it a little bit of look, because, you know, the next phase is tile on top of this. You know, originally I was going to order black tile, but that just seems super expensive. And you know what? I've got a lot of dark gray tile. I'm going to use some of that, and I'm going to mix light grays and blacks into it to kind of give it a little bit of coloration. And we're just going to go down the sides, right down the middle, and get it all kind of completed. Well, my friends, if you like what you saw here today, go ahead and hit that like button. It lets me know I'm doing a good job, and it helps the algorithm suggest this kind of video to anybody that might be interested in this type of content. If you got a good idea for this build, maybe a good idea for a ship, anything at all, maybe just want to shoot the shit, just put that down in the comments down below, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Of course, we cannot grow here as a family unless you hit that subscribe button. It takes you a mere half a second, but for me, it means an awful lot. Otherwise, I will see you here next week on Breaking Bricks.